Hi, I'm Neil Tucker. I'm from the Library of Congress. Absolutely none of you came to see me, so I'm doing a brief introduction, and then I'll get out of your way. You were here to see Rainbow Rowell. The new book is Pumpkinheads, which she is collaborating with Faith Erin Hicks. And our moderator is Linda Holmes. And I hope you guys have a terrific time. Please try to behave yourselves. There will be questions at the end, and have a great time, ladies.
Absolutely. Yay. Hi, you guys. Hi, you guys.
Hey. Hello, Linda.
I'm Linda. If you don't know me, I work at NPR, and I'm the host of a podcast called Pop Culture Happy Hour. And as I was bragging to Faith earlier, also that's my book, which is called Every Drake Starts Over.
Yeah. So it's very good. I recommend it officially.
And as I was telling Faith earlier, I was an early Rainbow Rowell adopter because attachments. I'm one of those people who listened to bands before they were cool.
Yeah.
And tells you all the time. Attachments came across my desk as like a cold. It just came across my desk cold. I didn't know Rainbow. I was enthused about the description and immediately became a big Rainbow fan. And so
I followed you on Twitter, and you tweeted about it, and I fell out of bed. I was so like, wah!
So Rainbow and I have gone back and forth for a long time. She was an early helper. I was explaining to Faith. She also was one of my early, like, is this anything, of sending like 15 pages of the book that I wanted to write. So,
and you wrote it even after I told you to stop.
So Rainbow and I have known each other a long time, and Faith and I have just met today.
Yes.
But Rainbow and Faith's book, Faith, why don't you talk a little bit about what Pumpkinheads is for people who haven't yet had a chance to read it?
Okay. Pumpkinheads is a wonderful fall-themed graphic novel. It is a story about two teenagers, Deja and Josiah, and they've worked at this amazing pumpkin patch, the best pumpkin patch in Nebraska, for all of their high school.
That's really saying something, too.
Yeah.
We have pretty good pumpkin patches.
Yeah, it's this amazing pumpkin patch. And they worked at this pumpkin patch all throughout high school, and it's their very last night working at this pumpkin patch. And then they're going to go off to separate colleges. And together they decide that they're going to go on an adventure. Josiah is finally going to go and talk to this girl that he's had a crush on, an unrequited crush for the past 3 years. And Deja is going to accompany Josiah as a friend on his adventure, and also she's going to get to taste her favorite snacks in the pumpkin patch one last time.
Snacks are big in the pumpkin patch.
Yes,
they are very,
very
important. Sort of like if you've ever been to, I don't know if you've ever been, like the Minnesota State Fair, which I used to go to sometimes, where they have all the, every year it's a new thing. Like the year it was alligator on a stick. I have had
like actual alligator?
Yeah, alligator on a stick, fried alligator on a stick. So the pumpkin patch, it tastes like, what's weird?
Tastes like chicken.
It tastes like a cross between chicken and fish, which makes perfect sense if you think about it.
I'd just like to say I'm from Canada. So I don't know.
So that won't be the first time she says it.
So the pumpkin patch is very snack centric. So Deja going out and getting all her snacks is very important.
Yes.
So why don't you talk about Rainbow? Talk about the sort of the origin of this idea, because I know if you read the book, there is some material at the end where you guys talk some about the creation of the book.
Right.
Talk about kind of where this came from for you.
So in Nebraska, have you guys been to pumpkin patches? Oh. Yeah, I bet you have. Here in Washington, D.C., I'm sure you think you've been to a pumpkin patch. We have in Nebraska kind of pumpkin patch culture. I actually don't know if this is true. Like in Omaha, we have kind of competing pumpkin patches, and so they've really one-upped each other for so many years that they've become extraordinary. And so every year, it's really a thing for us. Like, you don't just go to the pumpkin patch once. There's somebody nodding, so I feel like maybe they've been here to Omaha. Yeah, you're the person I'm talking about. Don't come to Omaha. It's not a very nice place to visit. It's pretty, no one's laughing because they think it's sad, but it's true. Omaha is kind of hot all the time and cold all the time. And the only great time to be there is October. So if you come in October, and like we live it up in October, like we just can't get enough. So we have season passes at the Pumpkin Patch. Not just me, but like everyone.
So you don't just go to the pumpkin patch to get your pumpkin for Halloween?
Oh, no. Oh, no. No, the actual pumpkin patch is a tiny part of the pumpkin patch.
I see.
It's more like a county fair that's only open for like a month of the year.
Right.
And there are dog shows, and there's pumpkin cannons, and there's apple picking, and there's, I mean, I could just keep going. There's haunted houses, there's ride a pony, ride a donkey, ride a tricycle. Ride a lot of things at the pumpkin patch. So every time I'm there, I'm like, oh, this would be a great YA story, like a great place to put a YA story at the pumpkin patch. And so I'd been thinking about it for a really long time, and I kept thinking, like, there are a couple other YA writers who might get there before me. Like Stephanie Perkins seems like she would do that, right? Yeah, she's already at a Christmas tree farm. Jeff Zentner calls himself the king of fall. He actually has a gourd tattoo, I think. So I really felt this pressure to write a story in a pumpkin patch before those other people got there.
Sure. So how did the collaboration come about?
Well, we met the traditional way on Twitter.
Yes, as you do.
Yeah.
That's where I get all my jobs.
That's where I get all my friends.
Faith, you were...
I met you on Twitter.
It's true. And you were experienced both with graphic novels that you did yourself.
Yes.
And graphic novels that you did in collaboration with writers or
yes.
other
Pumpkinheads is my 14th published graphic novel. And of those 14, about half I've written and drawn myself, and half are collaborations with other writers. And then sometimes I get to write graphic novels for other artists to draw. Right now, I'm the writer on Avatar: The Last Airbender comics. So, yeah. So I write those comics, and they're drawn by a great American artist named Peter Wortman, who is awesome. And yeah, I love collaborating with other people because I feel like I get the opportunity to try a different kind of story than what I might come up with. And I was a huge fan of Rainbow's work. I'd read Fangirl, I'd read Eleanor Park. I'd actually read everything you'd published up until that point.
Thank you, Faith, for doing that.
And I believe First Second, our publisher, approached you at first and just asked.
Somebody tweeted at me saying you should write a graphic novel with First Second. Mm-hmm. And I tweeted back, semicolon, end parentheses, that would be great. And then the editor called me and said, no, she emailed me and said, do you really want to write a graphic novel, or are you just flirting with us on Twitter? And I was like, well, both. And so I agreed to write a graphic novel for First Second, kind of sight unseen for both sides. Like, we just really didn't know how that would work out. And then we have like an arranged relationship through that editor.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is unusual.
It is unusual. So typically, if I'm hired as an artist to draw a graphic novel, usually the script is already written, or at least there's like an outline. So I know what kind of project I'm signing on to. With Pumpkinheads, there was pretty much nothing. There was
nothing.
There was
no idea.
just like, do you want to work with this lady? And I was like, heck yes, I do. So
it could have gone so wrong for Faith. I only have thought about that now. For both of us, really. Like, would you consent to work on a massive artistic project with someone for 2 years without having like met them? We did.
Yeah.
We just had to do it.
Yeah, just
having known each other's work.
Yeah, just dove straight in.
Had you done any of the stuff that you've done with Marvel at that time, or no?
No. So I agreed to write it for First Second. I wrote the script for Faith. And then because our schedules kind of had to coincide and overlap in the right way, I went and started working for Marvel and had been writing Runaways for about a year. Thank you. And then Faith came on.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm really happy. Please buy her book. It's going to get canceled if you don't. And even if you do, maybe.
So what were the first things that you kind of exchanged between the two of you? What's the first thing that comes, I assume, from Rainbow to you?
I mean, she got the whole script all at once.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So she got the whole script. I had pitched a different idea when we met. We met in Toronto at TCAF, and I had pitched a different idea, kind of like an Alice in Wonderland-y fantasy, which Faith was super enthusiastic about.
Still Pumpkin Patch, or no?
No, totally not Pumpkin Patch.
Because Alice in Wonderland to the Pumpkin Patch is also a good idea.
I mean, I could do that too. Don't take it, Linda.
Yeah. TM, me, and Rainbow. Go ahead.
And it's funny because Faith said yes to that idea, but now she's told me she had a lot of anxiety about it.
So like, I was a fan of Rainbow, and I was willing to do whatever she came up with, you know, like whatever idea she wanted me to draw, I was there, because I was just such a big fan of her work. And initially, this Alice in Wonderland idea, I remember it had a lot of like fantasy animal creatures in it. Like I think there was like
there's like a hot raccoon guy.
Hot raccoon guy.
Yeah.
And
I've never written animals, so she had no reason to.
Yeah, exactly. And like, to be honest, I don't like drawing animals. Like I really don't. Like I don't like drawing animals at all. But it's like I was willing to do it for her. You know, like I was willing to do it. But then when she changed her mind and came up with Pumpkinheads, I was like, oh my god. And like I was like, oh my god, dodge that bullet.
Yeah.
Like,
dodge that hot raccoon guy.
Yeah, dodge that hot raccoon guy.
So you sent the script.
I sent the script.
And then you start having conversations about the look of it?
Yeah, I mean, what I write is kind of like a screenplay, the way that I did it with Faith. So I write kind of like more information than she would need. Like, this is how it feels, this is what it looks like, this is what I think. And so it's kind of like a long screenplay. And then she took it and immediately did start doing some sketches.
Yeah, when I got the script from Rainbow, I sat down and read it all in one sitting and was immediately just like so excited about it. It's kind of an amazing thing to get a script from a writer and immediately be enthusiastic about drawing it, to just like see the images in your head and just be like so ready to dive into it. And at the time, I think you gave me the script in like 2016, 2017.
I can't remember.
Yeah, one of those 2 years. And I was still working, I did a middle grade fantasy trilogy called The Nameless City, and I was still in the middle of drawing those comics. So I wasn't going to be available for at least another year to draw Pumpkinheads, and I was immediately like, oh, I just want to like quit this book that I'm working on and dive right into Pumpkinheads. And I immediately sat down and drew the proto version of Deja and Josiah, like the next day after reading the script. I was just so inspired by it. It's I don't know. I can't say that enough. Like it is a really unique thing to be given as an artist, to be given a script, to be so inspired, to be ready to draw this thing. Because it's like, you know, comics are very, very time consuming to make. Like it will typically take me a year to draw a graphic novel from start to finish, and you don't want to be sitting there grinding out pages on something that you're just not enthusiastic about drawing. Like, I've done it because comics are my job, but I'd much rather be inspired and work with a collaborator that I'm excited about.
And one thing I noticed about Pumpkinheads is that even though Pumpkinheads is very much a story of these two friends, and they're on this sort of, they're on this journey over the course of this evening, it also has a lot of like action sequences.
Oh, it does.
And as somebody who, like, I read some comics, but not a ton, and I've read some graphic novels, but not a ton. It's always interesting to me to see how, you know, essentially an action sequence, something racing past something else. Do you have those conversations about what the pacing should look like? Does it tend to come from Faith in a way where you say, yes, this is totally what I had in mind?
I write it like, for Faith, I write my Runaways comics different. Mm-hmm. I write them a little bit more panel by panel because there's a limited amount of space and things have to happen in a certain way.
Right.
And you have to be super conscious of page turns. Mm-hmm. But for Faith, we had talked ahead of time about, Faith is very good at pacing, especially conversations and emotional stuff. So what I did is I wrote it like a screenplay. So I wrote what you would see. So I would write like, and a goat comes by, and then the people chasing the goat come by, and then the people with pitchforks come by. Like I would write it like that. Right. But then she kind of takes that and interprets it her way. And she decides how to make that. You probably should dive in. I'm saying how you do your job.
Basically, the paneling. So I basically took Rainbow's screenplay and broke it down and put in the paneling and turned it into a comic. But I mean, I don't think like our jobs were separate on this book. Like I feel like we worked incredibly closely as collaborators, again, which made this book very, very different from my previous collaborations, because most of the time it's like I'm handed a script and then the writer just usually goes away until I'm done drawing it and then they give me notes. But Pumpkinheads was very different. Like I got the screenplay, I took it, thumbnailed it out, broke it down into comic book panels, rewrote it, passed that off to Rainbow, and then she gave me notes on the comics comic script.
Right.
And then we went back and forth on the artwork when I sat down and started drawing. And I feel like the book really benefits from that because I feel like when you read it, there's no like schism between writer and artist. Like I feel like we mesh really, really well in the book. And it's almost like obviously you wrote it and I drew it, but it's like, I read it and it's like, I can't really tell where you end and I begin. I just feel like it's a very unique collaboration. And I feel like we were lucky because you don't always have the time when you're drawing a graphic novel to have that kind of collaboration.
It's kind of like I tell her, this is how I see it. And then she sends it back to me like, okay, kind of like this is, and I might say like, oh no, not quite like that. What about this? Or I might say, oh, I didn't see it that way, but I really like what you've done.
Yeah.
And there are times as because you write for an artist too.
Yeah.
I think there are times when you like, your vision feels really specific as the writer. And then there are times when it doesn't. And you're kind of like, well, I want this effect. What do you think?
Yeah. How do you develop the ability to say, with somebody whose work you really like, how do you develop the ability to say, this isn't quite what I meant? Because I have a feeling I have a feeling that if it were me, that I would have a really hard time not just saying like, it's all great. Like,
it's easier to do it with someone you respect than with someone that you don't. Because if you respect someone and they feel that from you, it's actually, you're saying so many nice things too. And you have to speak up and say that's not quite it, or this isn't quite landing correctly, because it gets personal otherwise. It has to be the book. The book has to be the important thing. The story has to be the important thing.
Yeah, and I feel like, I always really appreciated your notes. Like, I don't feel like I ever disagreed with you. You know, I feel like you would give me your notes, and I would just have better insight into that scene. So then I would go back and I would change it, and usually it was like really minor stuff, like this character is feeling this, so maybe change the expression to this. And I don't know, I feel like it improved the work. And I'm always on board for that, you know? Like, of course it's more time consuming to work this way, but I feel like the work is better as a result of it.
Chris Sanka, my Runaways partner for a long time, very nicely said, you demand a lot of emotional clarity. It was like, I don't micromanage the panels usually, except when there's a tight emotional moment. And that's the moment when I come in like there are probably 2 or 3 panels in Pumpkinheads that Faith and our editor at the time, Rachel Stark, and I really talked about for about a week, because they're just the key moment where this relationship has to happen in a magical way, and there's really no language. It's pretty much all the paneling. And you know, so we really needed to be on the same page. But in those moments, you really want it to be about the work. Right? Everybody respects each other. We're talking about the work. There's no question that I respect Faith as a storyteller and as an artist. There's no question that she respects me as a storyteller and a writer. So then you can just talk about, is this landing? Is it what we're trying to do?
Yeah.
So I want to talk a little bit about your 2 characters, your 2 lead characters. You have been pretty straightforward about the fact that you based parts of Deja on your own best friend.
That's right, yeah. Who you know.
Who I do know.
Yeah.
And I get it. I get it. Did you have any hesitation about sort of not just basing a character on in part on a real person, but sort of saying that you had done that? Did you have any hesitation about what that would mean for?
This is such a lovely character
That's true.
Yeah, so this character is based on my best friend Danielle. And it's just kind of her best qualities. So when I go out with Danielle, she makes friends with everyone, and I make friends with no one. Like, no one makes friends with me unless they have to sit by me for 6 months or something, like in like prison or cafeteria situations. I don't make friends that easily. And Danielle makes friends with everyone. So we get into a cab, and by the time we arrive, like, they're gonna go to the museum together, the driver and her. And like, I don't understand that kind of charisma.
Yeah.
And I don't understand that sort of like charm. And so this character, Deja, has that charm that Danielle has, where everybody just immediately kind of is like, hey, it's Deja.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I knew I was creating a lovable character. So I guess I didn't feel, and I told her.
Yeah.
I told her.
Yeah.
And she's super happy about it, I think, actually.
She has talked about it. She has indeed talked about it.
She has talked about it.
Yeah.
And I made the character tall because Danielle is tall.
I actually thought about that because
Yeah.
at the end of the book, in the conversation that is that's printed between the two of you,
Yeah.
you talk about the fact that that Faith's original sketch of Deja was a little bit shorter,
Right.
and that you had asked for Deja to be taller.
Yeah.
And when I read that, I thought, well, for one thing, Danielle's very tall.
Yeah.
It's part of her like whole. I think of it as like it's part of her whole thing.
That's her whole charisma, yeah.
Like part of her whole thing.
She's
is, like,
making friends and she's not even here.
It's everyone out there is like, what's her number?
I know. Those three were fine, but I want to meet that Danielle.
Yeah. So with Josiah, how did you go about kind of building that? Since he comes into it as a little bit hangdog, if I can say that, like he's a little pitiful at the beginning, just in his, you know.
Well, he's more of my stock character, frankly.
He's trying to sort of like get up the nerve to talk to someone he's interested in. How did you sort of balance his kind of that nature with also making him appealing and lovable? Because I always worry about how like
every book I've written, I have been asked by an editor or someone in the process to make like the main character less pathetic. Everyone. Lincoln.
Yeah.
In Attachments, I was told just cut some of the nerd stuff.
Yeah.
Cut the D&D stuff, which now it's like so fashionable to play D&D. But I was specifically asked to cut the Dungeons and Dragons scenes from that book because he seemed like such a nerd. And then in Landline, I had to, my agent was like, could you just make her shower more? She seems very pathetic.
I had a little bit of that about
Landline?
About Evie.
Oh, about Evie from your editor?
That she was not from so much from her, but from some people, that she was a little bit like inert, like a little bit like, I don't know, like interior.
I feel very defensive on your behalf.
In a certain way. We didn't really change it though. She is who she is.
Yeah, it's part of who she is, and
that's still true of I think Lincoln and.
Oh yeah. No, I wrote more Dungeons and Dragons scenes. Don't ask me to change something ever. Don't ever ask me to change it.
Now it's just spite Dungeons and
Dragons. It's totally spite. I mean. The biggest one was Simon. Someone was like, he's way too pathetic. He's whined so much. And I was like, well, his life is really hard. Luke Skywalker whines a lot.
Yeah. Go to the
so I don't know. That didn't
to get the power converters.
Right.
All right.
Very good.
I'm a nerd.
It did not occur to me or to Faith that he was too pathetic. We both identified with him.
Not pathetic, but just like he's a little bit like. I don't know.
Like,
I mean, I'm exactly like Josiah, you know? Like I have never in my life talked to someone I had a crush on. My husband asked me out over email.
Yeah.
Like
digging myself a deeper hole.
I think so. Okay, here's what I do think. I think people who are that charismatic, like my best friend is this charismatic woman, and I am like, you know, so like, I think it's very natural that someone that charismatic is going to be drawn to someone that not, because they balance each other out. So, yeah.
I mean, literally, it's like, you know that cartoon where it's like, you know, an extrovert adopts an introvert? Like, that's how I feel.
Yeah.
You know? It's like the only reason I have friends or I go out is because this extrovert, like, descended from on high.
The little dog, you know, on top of the baby.
Yeah, and just like, you know.
You're like a rescue human.
Yeah, pulled me into society. I mean.
I do want to make sure that we get to some questions. There are microphones here and here. If you guys want to line up, we will try.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, we will try to answer your questions so that we get to as many as you can. I have kind of a bad announcement, and that is that I was doing a PBS interview, and I knocked the lamp onto my head. Yeah, and it hurt a lot, and it kind of still hurts. So I'm not going to be signing, which I feel really bad about. But I almost didn't come. But I'm here, and we're going to answer questions. Yeah, thanks. Please, and I'm going to need you all to carry me out. It's going to take this half of it.
First question should be, Rainbow, I came 700 miles.
I know.
To get you
I'm coming back to Fairfax, Virginia, I think in October, assuming like that I don't have a horrible concussion, which I don't think I do because I've had a horrible concussion before and it felt a little different. Yeah. But Faith has the Wayward Son book plates. And again, I honestly feel really dreadful about it, so I'm so sorry. I'm sorry.
You should not. The lamp should feel bad.
Well, PBS should feel bad, I think. I mean,
the lamp
I can maybe like approximate Rainbow's signature.
I don't mind. Let Faith sign your books. Okay, right?
Yes, let's go over here.
Let's hear it, man.
Okay.
I like your shirt.
Thanks.
Yeah.
My name is Hunter.
Hello.
First of all, you liked my tweet yesterday about how your signing was during the poetry, which turned out to be fine. So
okay, good.
It's great. But I was gonna ask, how do you balance working with reading for pleasure, especially if you had to read books in high school, like a book a month. Like, how do you read for pleasure and also do that?
How do you balance, what was the first thing? Writing and...
Well, like work or, yeah.
Writing as a job and reading for pleasure.
Yeah.
I mean, I can start us
Go
off.
for it, yeah.
I mean, I love comics, and I also make comics, and sometimes it's really hard. Like, a lot of times I'll read a graphic novel and I'll be like, oh, I wouldn't have made that choice, you know, and it kind of ruins the book for me. What actually I read a lot of is manga, because it's from a different country, it's comics from Japan, and stylistically it's very, very different from the work that I'm producing. So typically I seek out work that is just very different from my own, and that's how I read comics for pleasure, while also doing comics as a job.
I mean, I think unfortunately you have to read and write a lot to be good at writing, and so I feel like, especially when you're younger, even though it's tempting to be like, I just want to be a writer, you kind of have to be a reader first. You have to like really digest a bunch of good writing before you can even get there. It is hard when you're working a book. I don't know if you felt this, Evie, but Linda, when you were working on Evie, but when you're editing a book, it's hard to read, I think, because all you see are problems.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that's right. And also, I got to interview Judy Blume one time.
Oh, nice.
And she told me that she doesn't read novels while she's writing a novel.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's too tempting for her. And I was sitting there thinking, like, why would that be? And she said, well, because it's too easy for me to read something and say, like, well, this is so good, and I am nothing.
Yeah, wow.
She's Judy Blume.
Wow.
So clearly it happens to everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm short.
I am
Also
too.
sorry you're short.
Hi. So I'm really excited to be here. Sorry. I was wondering at what point, like when you're writing Rainbow, and also Faith, when you're drawing, like at what point do you feel like someone who might have been like a stock character kind of like comes alive for you and becomes like, do they come to you fully formed, or do you feel like it's as you're writing they're coming alive at the same time?
Usually in every book, I have one character who I didn't think was going to be a very big character who just kind of breaks out. Like in Attachments, it's Lincoln's friend Justin. And then in Eleanor Park, it's Park's dad. And it's almost always a character who's nothing like me. And I realize how much I enjoy writing characters who aren't like me.
Yeah. For me, so I'm going to talk strictly as an artist. When I start designing characters that are going to go in the book, like they start out real rough. And then it's like I get to know them as I draw them more and I become more familiar with them. So I know for me, it's just like having them in my head and constantly trying to put them on the paper in front of me. And it's usually a pretty long process. Deja and Josiah, I feel like their look came together pretty quickly, but I feel like that was because I had Rainbow's input as well. When I'm working on my own, so I'm thinking especially of my series, The Nameless City, that one, oh my gosh, I did not finalize the look of the characters until I was literally sitting down to start drawing the graphic novel, and I had like a deadline. So, you know, sometimes they just don't come very quickly at all. But just becoming familiar with the characters, getting to know them, spending more time with them.
Yep. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming, especially because of the lamp thing. That would totally happen to me too.
It's okay. I did it to myself.
What is all of your ideas of a perfect Sunday?
The perfect Sunday?
Yeah.
D-A-E or D-A-Y?
Yeah.
D-A-Y.
Rocky Road.
I mean, I would love both.
Rocky Road. I like sleeping in. I like playing with my cat. I like hanging out with my husband, playing video games.
Yeah, I just read fan fiction.
Yeah.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yep. Good read. Good dog.
Well, first of all, I loved Pumpkinheads, and I read it twice this week, once for myself and once for my son.
Thank you.
Who adored it. And Maryland has an okay pumpkin patch.
Oh, really?
I don't know who here is Butler's Orchard, but I want to go to Omaha.
She doesn't believe you.
Yeah, I believe you. Good, then you won't need to be coming to ours.
But I wanted to ask, really interested in the collaborative notes at the end. And in particular, especially when you factor in deadlines and stuff like that, and the two of you working together for 2 years on this book, how do other members of the team, like an editor, factor into the equation? And how do you then make sure that you're meeting your milestones and deadlines?
Well, we had weekly meetings on this book. We had project meetings, which is a little unusual, but which I really wanted. And so like our editor and then later the colorist, then we would review color notes. So for me, those weekly meetings were really vital to keep us on the same page.
Yeah, I feel like those were the things that really kept us on track. And at first we weren't having them, and the book was not going as smoothly as it did later on. But I feel like once we had set aside time every week to talk, like on the phone, that just became incredibly important. So I feel like the general answer with every collaboration is you need to communicate with your partner.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
With my Marvel partners as well, like as soon as possible, I try to get their phone number and see if they'll let me text them. Because when you're going through an editor to talk to a collaborator, it just isn't as natural.
Yeah.
All right, I want to get them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We're going to try to...
Thank you for your question.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
Here, we're going to over here.
Hi. So I have a question about Carry On, if that's all right.
Faith, you want to take this one?
I'm ready.
You probably could after listening to me talk all week. Let's hear it.
In Carry On, you take a lot of like fantasy cliches and tropes and you kind of turn them on their head.
Yeah.
And I was wondering like how you were able to do that and like what was the process of...
You mean like story tropes?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've just read so many Chosen One stories. My first fandom was the Bible. I was very into Jesus.
Who did you ship him with?
Oh gosh, Faith! Don't be gross. But I just feel like I've had Chosen One stories. I've been digesting Chosen One stories my whole life. My first actual fandom was Star Wars. Another Chosen One story. I got very into Lord of the Rings. I got very into Harry Potter. So I'm glad we have some Harry Potter fans in the house. Woo! Harry Potter! Okay, come on, save it for J.K. Rowling. So I really think when I sat down to write Fangirl and I started writing those little snippets, when I was done, I realized I had a lot more to say about the Chosen. At that time I'm like 40 years old. I spent my whole adult and childhood reading these stories and kind of chewing on them. And I realized that when I started talking about these Chosen One tropes, it just was like, whoa, I had so much to say. I had so much to say, specifically about how young people in those stories don't have many choices, so the Chosen One almost never has a choice. Yeah. So that's how it happened. Thank you for your question.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi. I love both of your work separately, so when I saw you were going to be working together, I was like, this is a match made in heaven.
That's awesome. Thank you
so much.
You both have such good characterization in your novels, but Rainbow, I know, like in Landline, so much of what goes on with Georgie is so internal, and graphic novels are generally very much dialogue.
Yeah.
So in your process, how did you, I know y'all talked about facial expressions, but how did you really make sure that came forward? And Faith, with yours, you got to know these characters too. So are there ever any points where you're like pushed back and were like, in specific instances where you're like, no, I really feel like they would do this instead, or maybe do this?
No, I definitely didn't push back on any story or characterization moments in the book. And I feel like the original script was actually quite internal. Rainbow gave me a lot of emotional direction. She told me, their thought process, what they were going through at that particular moment. And my challenge is to draw it.
Yeah.
And that is the great challenge of comics. I feel like, it's like the pictures are the words. So I do feel like there are scenes in Pumpkinheads, like I'm especially thinking of, if you've read the book, there's a scene where Josiah and Deja are sitting in a cornfield, and it's literally like 20 pages of them sitting in this cornfield, and they do talk, but there are a lot of silent panels where they are dealing with their own internal emotions, and that's when comics are internal. It's just the characters are feeling those things in the visual format rather than using prose.
Yeah. I totally agree, yeah. Good, well said.
Yep. All right.
Hey, I was wondering if there were any ever alternative titles for Pumpkinhead?
Oh
yeah.
Actually, yeah. It was first really called Last Night at the Patch because it's their last night, and it was also what happened last night. And my editor did not like that. And then we went on a long title journey with lots and lots of titles. And I came up with Pumpkinheads almost as a joke, but it was one of those times you come up with like a joke and you fall in love with it. Yeah. And our editor really did not like it. Faith and I liked it. It's like the one time we sort of conspired against her, because I would like say to Faith, like, okay, you tell her you like it, I'll tell her. And whenever it would come up, we'd be like, well, what about Pumpkinheads? We just wore her down.
Yeah. And sorry, hopefully it's okay to bring this up, but there's actually like an old horror movie called Pumpkinhead. And yeah, I guess people like it. So I feel like that was kind of the thing nipping at our heels, although I feel like Pumpkinhead
didn't bother me at all.
Yeah, but I now that the book is drawn, I somewhat regret not including Lance Hendrickson in the background of any of the panels. So anyway.
Hi. So I know one of the things that would really make my life is if my favorite books were made into movies or TV shows or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And I was wondering if you guys have a preference for what medium your works are turned to, whether it's like TV show, movies, stage plays, musicals.
Oh, geez, I want a musical, right? Are you taking orders? I'd like a musical.
I think Pumpkinheads would make a great musical.
Make a lovely musical.
Yeah,
I'm on it.
Really would.
I think it's kind of like they're like your, in a way, how you feel about your kids. You just want them to do well.
Yeah.
You don't care where they end up.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. It's kind of it's always a gamble. I've had things optioned and nothing happened. So at this point in my career, I feel like, well, if it ever happens, I just hope they do a good job.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I was wondering who your favorite runaway character is and why.
My favorite Runaways character is Victor Mancha. I used to pretend that I didn't. In fact, Chris Anka had a favorite character, and it's Carolina Dean. And I used to like say, you're not allowed to say that publicly. It's blatant favoritism, and you can't do that. These are children. But then it became obvious that Victor Mancha was my favorite. And I feel like I'm not going to quit that book until everyone loves Victor as much as they love Wolverine. So that's my mission. Oh, and it's because he's wonderful. He's a sweetheart. He wants to be good. We maybe have time for one or two more.
Yeah.
Hi, my question is for Rainbow, and it's about Landline, which as a wife and a mother is my favorite work of yours.
Thank you. Gosh, thanks.
I'm curious if you have considered if Landline is in the same universe as Carry On, because the way the telephone works, to me, seems in keeping with the magic of Carry On, it being an object imbued with power.
Oh, wow. That's a great idea. I have always thought Landline, Fangirl, Attachments, and Eleanor Park are in the same universe, and then someone pointed out to me that means magic exists in that universe because there's a magic fucking phone. But you've just opened up a whole new possibility. I think I like your idea better. Should we do one more?
All right, one more.
I was really just wondering, I really like to write, but right now I'm just have no ideas. Where do you get your inspiration and all your wonderful ideas? Because I love all your books, and it's just, yeah.
Well, this is a hard question. I always say that I get my inspiration from stuff I need to work on. So every book I write is a problem that I have. And if you're like, why would she ever write about that? Like, why would she write that? I think like the answer is, oh, she's working something out. She's got some problem she's working on. It's always that.
For me, a lot of times, I'm actually, so like, I make comics that are typically for teens or for middle grade, and a lot of times I'm inspired by things that I liked as a kid, but I liked the thing, but I also was frustrated by it. So like as a kid, I was a real nerd, and I loved science fiction and action and adventure, and typically those genres were incredibly male-dominated. So it was like, now that I'm a creator, I get to go in there and I get to make action, adventure. I haven't made a science fiction story yet, but I'd like to someday. And it's like, but I get to make those stories with girls in them, girls and women, and that's something that's really wonderful and exciting.
And it's funny that you guys say this, because I would agree with both of them, because Rainbow's point about problems, when I sat down to write a book, it's all about starting with a person who is in a predicament. I've been saying when I talk about this book, it's a person with a predicament. That's where I tend to start. And in terms of what Faith was saying, people asked me, why did you write like a romantic comedy? And I said, because I love them, but they also make me crazy, because all the weird about them. So it's that opportunity to kind of
you have the power when you're a creator.
I am so sorry that we don't have time to get everybody. I appreciate you all so much. I'm so glad we could do this. Thank you, Rainbow. Thank you, Faith.
Thank you, Linda.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.